Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to be teaching you about a very easy lucid dreaming technique, and it's actually one of my favorite techniques because it's so easy and extremely effective. It doesn't matter if you're a beginner or someone more advanced in lucid dreaming, anybody can use this technique, and all you really need to do this technique efficiently is to have good dream recall. So if you're already remembering your dreams, preferably every single night, then you are ready for this technique. And if you are still working on dream recall, I recommend checking out my last video. This technique I'm going to be telling you about today is called MILD, or the Mnemonic Induced Lucid Dreaming Technique, and I'm going to be giving you the easiest and the most efficient way to do this technique. So let's get into it. As we talked about, the only prerequisite to this technique is making sure that you have good dream recall, because we are going to be using our dream journal in this technique. I love the MILD technique because it comes down to just a few simple steps, and the first step is to wake up during your REM stage. I always say to wake up between 4.5 to 6 hours after sleep. I would try to target for 6 hours because you're most likely going to be in your longest REM stage at that time. You can also wake up 2 hours before you normally wake up. Now, when you're setting your alarm for this technique, you do want to take into account how long it takes you to fall asleep. So if it takes you 30 minutes to fall asleep, you want to set your alarm for 6 hours and 30 minutes. The reason why is because it takes you about 6 hours to go into your longest REM stage, 6 hours of pure sleep. So if it takes you 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour to fall asleep, take that time into account when you're setting your alarm. Now, once you wake up from your alarm, if you remember a dream at all, you want to write that down in your dream journal. Write down anything that you remember, because we're actually going to be using the dream that you just had for this technique. And if you woke up and you didn't remember a dream, you can just use the last dream that you recorded in your dream journal. What you're going to want to do is actually analyze your dream. Read through it a few times so you have it memorized. You really want to get familiar with your dream content, and especially this last dream, since we're going to use it for the technique. As you're reading through your last dream that you had, you want to try to pick out any time that you could have got lucid. So were there any weird things that happened in your dream that was trying to tell you that it was a dream that you just didn't realize? It could be flying up in the air. It could be seeing someone who passed away or that isn't even in your physical experience, like a certain celebrity, or anything that is specific to your dreams that doesn't really happen in waking life. That's what you're going to be looking for. And you can also write those things out. Oh, I could have got lucid when this happened, or when this happened, when this happened. You really want to break down your dream and really pay attention to all the times that you could have realized you were dreaming. Once you've read through your dream and really broken it down and seen when you could have gotten lucid, you're actually going to go back to bed and visualize the dream that you just had. Now, when you're playing your last dream that you had in your visualization doing this technique, once you go back to bed, you really want to engage with all the detail and all the sensory information as much as possible. So basically, make this visualization of the dream you just had as real as you can. The people that you talked to, the things that you saw, the emotions that you felt, everything around you, try to engage with it as much as possible, like you're basically recreating the dream, but with your mind. So now that you've been recreating the dream that you just had in your mind, you are actually going to take the times that you could have realized you were dreaming and actually imagine that they did get you lucid this time. So if you imagined meeting up with a celebrity or flying into the air in your dream, if that's actually what you experienced in your dream, then in your visualization, you're actually going to imagine going, wait, this isn't right, this must be a dream, and really try to imagine the strong feelings that you would feel if you did get lucid. If you didn't really experience anything off in your dream or anything that told you it was a dream, my favorite thing to do is imagine looking at my hands in my visualization. So what we're doing is I created my entire dream back that I experienced with as much detail as I can, but now I'm going to imagine that I actually looked down at my hands and I had 12 fingers or 20 fingers, and in that moment I realized I was dreaming. Now, in my visualization, I want to feel all the emotions of actually getting lucid. What would you do? What would you feel in that moment? What would you say? Really try to create it as if it was real, because the trick here is your brain cannot tell the difference between a dream, imagination, or waking life. So when you're implanting this thought into your head, it's going to actually go into your subconscious mind, and you could replay out this dream in your next dream, but now, this time, you will realize that you were dreaming. The last time I did this technique, when I wrote down my dream, it seemed pretty normal. There wasn't anything off that happened in my dream. But what I did was imagine looking at my hands in my visualization when I went back to bed and really just, oh my God, this is a dream. I have 20 fingers, and I really made it as real as I could for myself. Then when I fell back asleep and I went back to bed, I actually had the same dream, but this time, since I changed the outcome in my imagination, I actually changed the outcome in my next dream. So not only did I influence the next dream that I had based off my previous dream in my imagination during this technique, but I also changed the outcome to help me get lucid. So just to recap these steps in the easiest way possible. First, you want to wake up in REM. Set an alarm to wake up after 6 hours of sleep or 2 hours before you normally wake up. Write your dream down. Whatever you remember from your dream, write it in your dream journal with the date and the time. Write as much detail as you can remember. Next, you want to read through your dream journal and analyze it. Read through the dream you just wrote down a few times until you have it memorized. Start to analyze the dream and look for chances where you could have realized it was a dream. Next, you want to go back to bed and visualize. Go back to bed, and as you're drifting off, visualize the dream you were just having in complete detail. Imagine becoming lucid. As you are imagining the dream, you are going to imagine the times in the dream where you could have gotten lucid, except this visualization, you are going to imagine you actually got lucid. Next is just creating the feeling. How amazing does it feel that you were able to realize you were dreaming? Hold on to that feeling and strong visualization. The brain acts in a hypnosis-like state as we fall asleep, so implanting these visualizations and emotions will be very powerful for your next experience. So as you do this technique, you may not even fall asleep and you may just go right into a lucid dream, or you could just fall asleep, but it will actually influence the next dream and you'll spontaneously get lucid. So there's a few ways that this technique can go, but I would definitely keep trying this technique because it is one of the easiest and the most effective techniques that I have found, and I still use it all the time, so I definitely recommend using this technique. And if it doesn't work the first time, don't worry, keep at it because you're learning a new skill. You're training your brain to become conscious in your dreams. And just like any other skill, it takes practice, dedication, and consistency. And it's proven that every single person can dream. If you sleep, you dream. And if you dream, you can lucid dream. So no worries, you will be able to have success with this technique if you keep trying. And I'm going to be talking about a lot of other techniques in the future so you can try to see what works and what doesn't work for your specific practice. Alright guys, that is it for this video. Please let me know if this technique worked for you and what other techniques you like to use for inducing lucid dreams. And if you like the content I create, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on my future videos. Thank you guys so much for joining. I'm wishing you tons of success with this technique, and as always, I'm wishing you love and endless lucidity.